Hello. Good morning, evening, afternoon, etc. Hope everyone's having a pleasant Wednesday. First up, apologies for not being able to stream Sunday. I was tied up at Legoland, so that's actually the extent of my apology because it was a great time. AC, Harand, Connor, Greco, hello, Matthias, Daz. Hello. It was pretty good. Spent more Lego on myself than the kids, which is the ideal resolution. Julian, hello. Yeah, I think that should just family day out. But I've also invited some strangers from the internet. I have not started yet. I've not had the time. I've been caught up at work, and I've been working. I've kind of fallen down a bit of a rabbit hole with the next video, which has taken up my time just because I'm slightly obsessed with it. So, oh, hang on. Am I supposed to press an alert button here, or is AC already? I think AC's already done it. Nice. I can pretend to know what I'm talking about now. Nord, hello. Yeah, I think the alert on Discord is very much a manual process that AC normally does, and then I forget to do if he's not around. But I could be wrong. Again, I don't really understand how Discord works, or my Discord. I've I've got people for that. And that by people I mean AC. I mean AC. Okay, so where were we last time? I think we had an issue with the size of the AABBs within Jolt, which is a perfectly normal sentence. So yeah, we're going to look at that today. I also had a thought. I think I might have overcomplicated some bits, so I think we'll go back and look at those first. And there's some ranges I want to tweak as well. So which button is it? Okay, so one of the things we did in game, it was. Well, let's just see if it still runs. Bit rot and all that. I might not have mentioned it, but I quite like ranges. But I think I've ranged incorrectly. Okay, so yeah, these bounding boxes are supposed to fit nicely around these objects, which one might argue they don't. So we can detect when they intersect, they're just wrong. Right, okay. I think we had to extract the... Yeah. I had to add the lines to the lure level, which I didn't particularly like, but I'm thinking... Do I need to do that? Because don't I own the scene? So my thoughts was maybe I've gotten this wrong, but level owns the scene, right? And all this does is call level scene to add something from the level into it. So I think we can just, after this, I think we can just do something like scene dot debug lines equals ps debug renderer dot lines, right? And then we can just drop this. It just occurred to me that I've kind of broken my own encapsulation when unnecessarily. Just see if that still blends. It will still be wrong, but it should still work. Yes, I noticed they were shifting around there as well. TBC, let's see if we can get the right size first. Maybe we just need to run it at 60 FPS and not worry about it. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying that I don't know why it could, but okay, but that works. So this means I can get rid of that level and get rid of that. Raymond, hello. I think once we get the right size, we can take a view on whether we care or not. So let's just clean up debug API. Sure, sounds good. The other thing was, so I wasn't particularly happy about this, despite spending quite a lot of time on it. Is this horror? Right? The fact that we have to, so we need to manually check every single box against every other box, but we only want to do that comparison once. So if you had A, B, and C, comparing box A and B is the equivalent of comparing box B and A. So you only want to do that once, and you don't want to compare. You don't want to do a self compare. So you would need to create the unique combinations. And I was absolutely. This is super simple to do with 2 loops, and I was like, I don't want to use 2 loops. At best, I want to use and loop, and then I want to use ranges. So I end up with creating an iota index view, taking the Cartesian product of that, filtering it for where one is less than the other, and then dropping the first one. I don't particularly like this because the problem is like the Cartesian product generates more combinations than we need because it does duplicates, which is how we filter out here. So this all got a little bit messy. I was discussing this with a colleague at work because I thought it was an interesting problem, and I was discussing it with someone who is way better at C++ than I am, and is, if you can believe it, even more of a proponent than ranges than I am, and he came up with something quite cool. So I want to have a go, and because then we have a little play around with it, and I thought it might be fun to kind of recreate that here first. So A, prove to ourselves it works, and see kind of what that looks like in the asms. So we're not even 10 minutes in. We're going to break out got bolts. Let's just embiggen that a little bit. You have to let me know if this is too small font size. Output. Execute the code. So algorithm. And I'm going to use printf because it makes the assembly. Normally I would use println, but printf makes the assembly actually easier. Println wraps out loads of nonsense into the assembly, so it's kind of harder to. It's a little bit harder to reason about when you're looking at it. So C still lib. Yeah, I use LazyGit is a CLI tool, but there's a NeoVim plugin which allows you to do it with a simple bring it up in a subview with just I just use a leader LG, or you could just go to the terminal and run it. Well, it doesn't. It does. I mean, yes, it converts it into the ASM equivalent because it compiles it and just pulls it out of the object file at the end. So it's just doing the compilation, allowing you to kind of peek into the guts of it. So I quite like this. So what you do is you still start off with std views iota, right? So let's say we know. Why am I not vimming? That's why I'm struggling. So I want, I don't know, 4, right? So I'm going to do 0 to 4. So I still want to generate a view over the numbers from 0 to 4, 0 to 3. So this is just a lazily evaluated view which does that. And then pipe that into stud views transform. Right, and this will take a int, well, I'll call it auto. So we can now iterate over these, and this was what I thought was the clever bit. Return another views iota from x+1 to max, right? Okay, so this is going to transform. Well, initially, if we just returned this would transform this one view of 0 to n into another view of x+1 to n. But that actually, we can take that further, because then we can transform this, right? So what we can do is we can take a number, convert that into another iota view, that number to max, but then also when you evaluate that, transform it into each one of those a pair of x to y, which will effectively give us our combos. So now I'll figure out all the correct way to balance all these. That's that transform. So I think there's a semicolon there, and there, and there, and then finally you pipe that to stud views join. And what join does is it takes a view over a view of ranges, okay, and then flattens them all the elements in all those sub ranges into one continuous range. Hello, wow, hello. Iota is because isn't it from PL? This iota is from, there's a historical reason. There's some language old language, is it PL, which used it as an operator, and I think you could even use the Greek letter for it. And people have just stuck with it since then. APL, that's it, close. APL used it, and everyone was like, oh, well, I guess it's when does backwards compatibility have been an issue? I do use the debugger, yes, where I can. So now, in theory, we should be able to do for auto const xy in comms stud printf percent I dash n xy. Let's just see how this explodes. I've probably balanced something wrong somewhere. Oh, cert. Transform. Okay, what have I gone wrong? I must have balanced some of these wrong. So we put that to the stud views. I suspect I'm missing a semicolon. That transform is that from there to there, which is that from that lambda to that lambda. That returns that iota. I wonder if we can just bring that across a bit, make it a little bit easier to read. I dread to think what Clang format's going to do with all this. Oh, hang on, std views transform. That's what I'm missing. There we go. Which I think is much nicer conceptually than the weird double iota thing. Volker, hello, glad you're here. Now, what I thought was then interesting was I then went and did 03, so let's like turn this right up to 11, well, or 3, and it's basically nothing. Like, let's just get the answer out of the way of it. Like, it's all that gets crushed down to basically the double for loop. Goes through, it adds 1, it sets the EBX to somewhere into the, compares that with the stat variable, goes around, loops around. Like, so there, the printf here is pushing the format string. Sorry, setting that to EDI. I've been looking at a lot of 32-bit binaries recently, so I keep thinking it needs to push it to the stack. EDI and then EBX there, which increments 1 becomes the second argument. So it's pretty. I think it's pretty optimal. And this I think is a lot nicer. Thoughts, feelings. I'm going to go and slap all this into our code now. Well, this is it. Any excuse not to do 2 loops. Why is it weird to see streams in C++? Is it just because no one reuses it now? Wow, that's a lie. Is it because a lot of people on Twitch use it? Yeah, I think it's absolutely wild optimization, that. I don't think this is too bad. This might be one of those cases where maybe a dual loop is clearer. I'm not sure if I'm willing to commit to that. Well, I'm not sure if I understand it either, but it sure is. It's entertaining to write. Yeah, I guess algorithmically you would have to pass all these individual things, whereas in terms of pattern matching, if you saw for auto I equals 0, I is less than n, dot max plus I for auto j equals I plus 1, j is less than max plus j. Interesting to see actually what's the assembly like difference between these. This is all effectively this is doing. I would prefer it if it hadn't done that. I guess, is this conceptually easier? Probably. Is this more fun? Absolutely. Where's it loading LC2? Still got a loop. I think this has done something clever. No, it's still doing the same thing. No, it's pretty similar. Yeah, anyway, I think that's fine. So yeah, someone said they joined from watching the TLV shorts, which I guess is recently. The TLV was for the packing the resources for the game that we're making. So now I should, in fact, let's do for. Now I can get rid. Oh, it's also nice. I can get rid of all this get rubbish here for the indexes. So I should be able to do for const auto ij in cums. And then this becomes steady. And then we can get rid of indexes because then we can just do const auto max equals stood ranges size transform shapes. And then transform shapes, and then this has to be ZU. ZU. Nope. Max. Max. Okay. It's actually, formatting's not too bad. And then I just need to capture that. Okay. Oh god, loads of comments. Not been paying attention. I thought the command was I think it might be code. It might be bang code. There we go. Would you say reverse engineering is much easier once you're confident in a language? There's kind of two parts to that. Like, you would probably want to, yes, because you would probably understand the idioms and the patterns that people would write the code in order to generate that output. When you've said reversing, because it might not be native, right? You might be, presumably it's native code, right? So if you want to reverse some C++ code, it's kind of good to have an idea of what code they might have written to generate those patterns. But then you've also got to compete with the optimizer and other bits, and whatever horrors they're probably doing to actually ship their code out on time. So yeah, and I guess the other part is it's good to have a familiarity with C because that is what most decompilers will give you an approximation of. So it's good to kind of have an idea of that and the facsimile of that over whatever language it was actually written in. Yeah, I was just using Godbox. I wanted to show I thought it was interesting to show what it compiled to, so that's why I don't bother with it. We just write the code and compile and hope for the best. But I wanted to showcase like how nicely like the compiler really crushes the ranges down. To learn C++, I would say the best way to learn any language is to write lots of code, right? So I would definitely like projects and little proof of concepts and stuff like that. If you're looking for specifics, there is I've lost me. There is learncpp.com is normally pretty. I've not kind of massively gone through it, but it is a well recommended resource. And then there is also if you're more of a book kind of person, there's also this one. I think it's this. Which edition is this? This is on. Well, that sure is a link. That is one of the links. Oh god, hay fever. eyes are so sore. Anyway, that's just me complaining. Okay, let's just check this still works. No, that is much more efficient. Hello to Mexico. God damn it, what have I done wrong? Oh, I've just slapped an extra brace at the end. Okay, fine. Nothing too egregious. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, stuff my face with antihistamines at the moment, and it's not really helping. Okay, right, back to the problem at hand. Let's just, like, I don't know, make ranges great again. So I guess the issue is where yeah, the game window is just a working title. Right, so what's the issue? The issue is somewhere we are producing this AABB incorrectly. I'm just trying to remember where we did all this. Where was this all done? We had to change like how the shape worked, didn't we? Then we have like a transform shape. This is where the intersects method is. Christ, that was a pain to write. There's only like 20 lines of code there, and they were hard fought, those 20 lines. What are we drawing? We're drawing the transform. So I feel like the transform is correct, okay? As in the thing that describes the orientation of it in world space. Yeah, I mean, don't give him too much credit. It worked before. It wasn't like it wasn't working. He definitely helped me improve it. I think the transform is correct because this is definitely moving in 3D space, like in world space as I would expect. It seems the dimensions are wrong. So we're either calculating the dimensions incorrect, which I think is unlikely because we've had this working before when we were doing the rendering. I suspect the issue is we defined our AABB in terms of a min and max point, and Jolt wants it in terms of a half extent from the center. So we've either done that conversion wrong, or that miserable bit cast into the whatever it was, Jolt specifics. So let's start with the first one. So where do we do that? Where do we do the thing? Yeah, possibly, but I want to check the other manual conversion we did, which was the half extents. I just can't remember. For the life of me, can't remember where in the code it is. So where's the code? I very remember doing like, can I min? It'd be like dot max, won't it? Dot min half extents. Okay, so here we go. This was it. We get the entity bounding box, which eventually we want to replace with just the Jolt one. I've come to the conclusion I think that's what I want to do. So I want to get working first. and then do the half extents here. And then we create the box shape with this. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people come along because they enjoy just us trying to thrash out interesting problems and figure out. So, yeah, passive or active doesn't really matter as long as you're here. So we take the minimum and the maximum point and we subtract them, which should give us the central point. I'm not... Look it up. What's the internet say? AABB min max to half extents. It was min plus. I've got min plus max already, so that already seems strange. Over 2. Oh no, calculate the half extents is then max minus min over 2. Do I just want this because I don't actually care. I only care about it in model space, not in world space. Oh, I think there's a bang theme for anyone who's asking. Ah, there we go. Okay, I don't know why it's off by a frame. That looks pretty AABB to me. And then actually, so now, do these now check when they're intersecting? Yeah, oh, I don't know if you can see the logs there. They are going for it when they're intersecting, so that's good. So we got that. Why is it a frame behind? Calculated based on the last frame's data. Yes, you're right. Because that's... Yes, and I think that's by design because I want to see if they intersect. I then don't want to apply the update. So actually that is correct because I want to... I think that was my intention all along, right? It was basically have the Lua simulate the position change, use the C++ to check whether an intersection has occurred, and if it has, effectively roll that back. Okay, so let's see if we can move on with our lives. So here we have the collisions. So what we need to do is what am I trying to do? I'm trying to check whether the collision has occurred and then react to it. So I check all the collisions here. So I'm going to need to store this in something. I'll probably use a vector to start with because it's easier. And then I need to cache the positions as well before this. So let's do const auto orig position equals entities pipe to stud views transform const auto e return e dot position. That will cache all the so that will cache all the original positions in the order that I'm going to iterate through them, right? So I think these indices will then match up to those. And then what do I want to do? I want to only, in fact, actually what I might want to do is just, and actually we want to make that stud views, sorry, stud ranges to stud vector. Okay. And then in fact, actually, is that even correct? I think what I want is these to be flags, which I can then selectively disable. No, wait a minute, because I've already set the new position. So this is definitely the original positions. And then what if we make these like optional? Okay, and then no, that's gonna be wrong. Let's do. I'll get there in a minute. Let's do make tuple false. So we'll loop through these at the end, and any that are true, we will revert those. So in here, if transform shapes, then orig position I stud get 0 equals true. Equals true. Okay. So this will then flip those flags saying you need to revert these ones, okay? And then we can do const auto if const auto. I'll check chat in a minute. What's going on? Revert orig position in no. Const auto index orig in views enumerate org positions. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, that should be good spot. It wouldn't have compiled, but a good spot. Yes, I've done C# professionally before. I wouldn't say I was an expert in it. I know enough to kind of be dangerous, but I've worked on quite a few medium-ish C# projects. I really like it as a language. I chose OpenGL because it is simpler and I can get more done live in a shorter amount of time. I'm not a graphics expert, I'm not a rendering engine expert. I'm figuring out a lot of this as I go along, and I know from the little bit of experience I've had with Vulkan, it is immensely complicated and takes a long time to do anything. And I figured if I was going to stand up in front of like what 120, 130 people live, I want to maximize the chance of me actually making any progress and giving the illusion that I know what I'm talking about. So that's quite what I opted for OpenGL. Buckley, hello. Right. What's he complaining about? Yeah. Because then I should be able to do const auto. If const auto revert position org position equals org revert. Something's not right here. What have I missed? If or oh yeah, sorry. Well done. Org. No, that's okay, I think we're getting there. Const tuple vector is not contextually convertible to a bool. Oh, hang on. That's because this is now. Alright, okay, I think we're there. Oh no. Pretty sure that's right. Ugh. Semicolon, thank you. I'm not don't know what's going on today. My brain is not C++ very well today. AC, resubscribe for 7 months. Thank you very much. I think that's a bang dot or bang dot files. Okay, so this will destructure the tuple and only proceed if the revert is true. Which means now we should be able to do entities index dot set position org position right. Whew. Let's see if this now works. Ooh, it will not work. It will not work. It will not work. I mean, if it compiled, it would not work. Let's just fix this up first. And am I already indexing? Have I got too many nested loops? Wait a minute, do I want to be in that loop? I want to be outside of that loop. I want to be outside of that loop. That was a good spot there. Try it again. I mean, half of all this is just sounding confident, right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's right or not. As long as I'm convicted it's right. Okay, so this won't work because if we go to do our intersects method, I think we not particularly insightful or indeed useful. Give diff signs beside the code lines. That comes from Kickstart, the NeoVim setup I use. It automatically installed that. I don't actually know the name of the plugin, but this is how I NeoVim'd, and then it'll put it in the gutter for you automatically. Yeah, something's wrong. Not wrong enough that I care about it at this moment. I have more wrong in my life than that. Okay, so we now need to modify this to be able to record when things are hit. Which one are we hitting, by the way? Is it hit? Hit seems to be the one we want. So what we'll do is we will take a bool ref hit, and then this will just do hit equals true. Yeah, I know. I'm just going to manually do it. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Simple collision detector, bool hit. Okay, and then when we go down here, when we create this, we'll do auto hit equals false. Hit. Return hit. I think. Sound good? Let's give it a go. See if it blends. Okay, so let's see. Let's get a little bit closer. Oh, okay. Oh, it's stuck. It's stuck. That shouldn't happen because I should be reverting it to a pre-collided state, right? So in my mind, the precondition of update is that none of the entities are already colliding, right? So this should cache the non-colliding position. We get Lua to update all the positions, which may introduce a collision, intersection, whatever you want to call it. I'm not an expert. I'm sure there's a difference. We then we then update the position, which may be colliding. I wonder if this is wrong. I wonder if this should instead hold optionals, that should be the new position. Okay, so intersection. I think this is wrong. I don't think we should be setting the position until we know there's no collision. So I'm going to rewrite this to be fact. I think this actually becomes auto update positions equals stood vector stood optional vector nope vector 3 and the size of that will be stood ranges size entities. Okay, so I don't think we want that. Like, here is need more templates. Okay, here is, so flipping on its head, thinking about it a slightly different way. Here is now a bunch of optionals, which if they are set, should contain the position we update. So that means I can get rid of this. Okay, all this remains the same because we use the position from here. And then we do, what will I call it? Like update position? What will I call it? Update positions I equals position. Oh no, hang on, because this. I want to revert it to the position before the Lua update tick moved it. We only... Oh, that's a good point, actually. I bet we don't... No, I reckon that was right. What I bet we don't do is... assets. I bet we don't update its internal representation. So this has the concept of a position, right? So this updates the level and then says this position here. We don't update that afterwards. Yeah, we need to synchronize this. So actually this was right. What we need then is function set barrel position. I feel like it's getting a little bit messy now. I wonder if there's a better way of doing this. So then when we go through here, we can do, I still got my script runner. Or has that gone out of scope by now? Oh, it is there. Okay, fine. So then, oh, of course, I can just see it below. Runner.execute set barrel position index borrow position. source file is not valid UTF-8. So what the compiler says about that. Oh, hang on. I need to redo that. I think ClangD has given up. This is not working for me. Okay. Blah. Oh, I'll get there in the end. I'll get there in a minute. Definitely this one. Definitely this one. 100% this one. No, I don't think ClangD likes Lua either. Okay, right. So now let's just drop us a little bit closer. Obviously, oh, if you wonder why I keep looking at the screen, it's because the part of the logic of this level is that the barrel only moves when you're looking at it. So for me to, if I want to get closer to it, it's a forever moving target. So I have to kind of shuffle myself out. I could turn it off, right? Very briefly worked, and then went bang. Lua script 62. So we were in Lua level 169. Oh, hang on. Yeah, it's because Lua index is at 1. It's not UL, is it? Isn't it just L? Oh. Gotten stuck on that. It's just intersecting there. This is going to be really fiddly, by the way, and I'm fully prepared to spend just some time just to try and get this right, because this is kind of like the feel of the game, so I think it's kind of important to make sure this feels reasonably coherent. Right, so once if I just like smash it into the left, I'm like one tick in. What's going on? I don't want to do that, because in my mind, the way I've constructed the levels is that it shouldn't need to like nudge it. I shouldn't need to find like the vector of penetration and slide it along that, because my invariance should hold that nothing is intersecting when we call update. We cache those positions, we do some updates, a collision is detected, we revert those changes. We update the entities, okay, all of them, fine. I'm not sure whether this is needed here at the moment or not, but Let's curiouser and curiouser. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, if my logic doesn't make any sense. This is my worldview of this. Get the original positions and set a flag saying don't revert. Update the level. Get the new position of each barrel. Set that position into the entity. So it may be colliding at this point. I can understand maybe this gets a little bit complicated if you have multiple barrels and you're trying to revert them all at the same, like different ones, but like update the tint color, no one cares. Generate the combinations, check for intersections. We know this intersects, we've seen the logs, and something happens because this must get set, because then here, but why is it getting stuck? Surely it's unlikely to be like a floating point error. Are we trying to update the wrong barrel? That is... no, because we would see that jump, right? I had that thought, but we are definitely only seeing, like... any suggestions for broken games, please do take them to the Discord. There is a video suggestions channel. I will give you my usual weasel words that I can make zero guarantee if and or when I'll get around to it, but I do triage everything that comes in and keep a list of stuff that unfortunately kind of has to be suitable for a video, which I know is a bit unfair, but that's just unfortunately the game I need to play. But yeah, do feel free to go to Discord and shove it in there. I think it's to do with this, like, being, like, behind by a frame, because that doesn't feel right either. Because what I think is happening is, if it's behind by a frame, right, then say we're colliding this way, it's going to be one further frame in when it detects the collision, which means then it's going to revert back one frame, which will still be colliding. I think we need to solve this. I think I need to work out why this is one frame behind. Where does that go into it? Why is that wrong? Where do we update the shape transform? Oh, it's here, isn't it? We grab the position, but we don't update the position of the entity till here. I think we might have... Is a transform shape cheap to construct? Yes, it is. So what I think we do is we drop this. Okay. Okay. We drop this and then we do transformed shape is it shapes? Entities I dot transform. Let me just build this out per one. A little less efficient, but it might be correct, which is probably more important. Let's try that. Ranges giveth and they taketh away. Where else have I transformed shapes? Ah, yes. That's a pain because I now need to I now need to draw them. I think I will just have to again bite the bullet and this is only debug code anyway, so I'm not too fussed. I think I made them cheap to construct anyway. Oh, hang on, have I missed an index? Oh, good spot. I thought I had them all. Right, let's see. I mean, hello, computer, hello. That's the opposite of what I wanted. They're not exactly what I did before, but I just don't pre-calculate them all. Oh, no. There was something else, wasn't there? There was some other stuff in there. That's it. I needed a... Okay, fine. All right. Okay. Now we're getting there. It's because the transform doesn't include the scale, so I need to make sure I manually set that. Okay. Oh, that looks better. Yeah. Now we're collisioning. Now we're doing physics. pretty sweet. I like that. So now we need to add back in our other barrels and see if it all works. Obviously, you can't complete the level because you can't intersect with the goal. We need to have some sort of concept of like what can and can't be collided with. But it's definitely progress. Yeah, I think we need our own concept of layers, which we can then just fudge into the C++ a little bit. The solution was constructing the transform shapes at the point where we needed them, rather than pre-calculating them and then updating the position. So we were always a frame behind. So we actually now just calculate them construct them when we need them. I don't need a list of chords when the hit was detected because I don't need that information at the moment. Again, like if we need it, I'll add it. But for now, a boolean is enough. Is kind of enough. Is enough for me. Right, let's comment this up. Set. Yes, that's fine. Position to level, and then fix collision intersection detection. Nice. Okay, so now let's assets. Let's revert let's add all these barrels back. Okay, paste this back and see if it works with multiple barrels. Yeah, but you can't, in C++, the minimum addressable unit is a byte, so you can't just store a bit on the stack, for example. There's a minimum addressable thing is a byte. How many bits are on a byte is really could be anyone's guess. Okay, so now that's nice. So these now don't pass. I feel like those are. I suppose that feels. Is there a gap between them? And as it is that expected? Oh, that's so hard to look. Those seem pretty tight, I think. Yeah, so what about the blue barrels? Was I just imagining that? Oh no, those are there's a slight gap, but it's not. That's fine, that's fine. Okay, so now it's quite jarring when you've got a barrel moving with you and then suddenly it stops. I don't know, I think that's pretty cool. I could probably remove some of these log lines now. Amend, sure. Hold on, yep. So yeah, this is just lazy git, the neovim plugin. If you you can also just run it from the command line. You get basically the same thing. But I quite like having it within neovim. I don't have to keep backgrounding the process. keep amending this commit one line at a time. Okay, and then to yes, bring blue barrels back. Okay, what's next? I think we need to refactor our entity because at the moment Vim, please behave. We have an AABB, which is our a object of our own making here. I think we might as well just commit and just shove and just assume AABBs will always be jolted now and just shove that in there. So that's what I'm thinking we'll probably do next. Tidy that up. I think that's going to have a few issues in it. And then we need to do layers so we can finish the level, and then we can write some more levels, because I feel like we sort of write a level and then hit a massive roadblock and spend streams and streams and streams trying to solve a very, very specific issue for that level. But I guess I don't really know how else you do it. You should join the Discord. It's pretty good. I guess the issue is, so how does this work at the moment? Because I want to puzzle this, before I start writing more code, I want to puzzle this out, because actually at the moment, AABB is not too bad, because it's all within our sphere, but a shape has to be constructed from the physics system. So now, everywhere you create an entity, you would have already had to have had a physics system. Do I care? Do we care? It's already coupled to the rendering system. You cannot create an entity without textures. So if we're going to double down on using this, then actually, so if we have a look at the renderer, oh, where does is visible get set? Set visibility here. So intersects thrustum will then have to be rewritten again because it won't understand the AABB internally. Okay, I'm now torn because one, it seems to be silly to have two separate AABB implementations, but on the other hand, it kind of works now. One works for the, but then also I don't like the fact that one is used for frustum culling and one is used for intersections. Again, that feels like they should be the same thing. That being said, I don't know how to do frustum culling with Jolt. We would have to... I am torn. What does the box shape look? So I suppose the AABB would be what? A transformed shape? To a transformed shape, which the entity automatically updates. So when you set position or translate it, it automatically updates the AABB, which it does already. So we could offload that code, which would prevent us... I could see a future where we did what we just did and forget to update the AABB. I'm really not sure. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But also, it's a bit of a mess. And like, you know what? I'll tell you what. Let's, together as a team, let's try and convert it over and just see how much of a mess it is. And then we'll just revert the changes if it's a total disaster. Let's spend the last part of the stream trying to refactor this because I ultimately think it is the right decision to only have one concept of an AABB. So let's just smash this in and just see what happens, right? So let's do include physics box shape, right? What does the physics system get me back? Is it a pointer? Do we get a T star? Okay, fine. So this should then be the bounding box should then be a box shape pointer. Okay. And when you construct an entity, no, it's not going to be a box. Entity is a non-owning view over other data. So I think actually we don't need to pass that in. I think what we instead need is a physics transform shape. Like that. And then, and then this will then take a transformed shape bounding box. Okay. It is the expectation that the internal pointer in transform shape will live longer than the entity, but that makes sense because your entity shouldn't be living longer than the physics system. There is, in my world, the physics system should last at least as long as the rendering. This is my world. Okay, so let's do entity because this is now going to be thoroughly upset. Emery, I remember. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. On the YouTubes. Well, I'm working on a new video at the moment, but it's going to be a little bit longer because it's a little bit more in depth, and we'll see what we get to. It's proving to be quite good fun. I lost YouTube. People still talking on. Emery broke my chat. It's okay. It's back. You fixed it. I don't know. Computers are hard. I generally dislike computers. So this transform shape bounding box. To be fair, like, what am I doing? Oh yeah, I should just pass by value, right? And then I'll just copy it over. I guess I technically should move the copy, but as it's a type I control and it's trivial to copy, this will just be a copy anyway, but I'll add it now in case we ever do anything more fruity with it. So now transform shape needs some more mutable methods. I've just like no interest in writing an operating system. Like, I understand it is a deeply interesting project, and a lot of people are really into like OS dev. It just doesn't strike me as something I want to spend my limited free time on. For me personally, I just don't. It doesn't appeal to me. Like, I think it'd be an interesting challenge, but I I just think it'd be a lot of work with little to show over like a stream project, if that makes sense. There are other projects I'm interested in kind of giving a go live after this game, and I still want to make an FPS as well. Rewrite the renderer and do an FPS. So I guess we want just a mirror of what we have on the other side, right? So translate. We want set position const vector 3 position. Okay, and then we want, don't worry about orientation for now, and then we want set. No, then we want translate. Core. No, is it just? Utils? Where's my vector 3? Where's vector 3 live? Ah, maths. Obviously. Okay. Okay, so now this can do bounding box dot translate translation. To be honest, that might be all we need to start with, because set position still calls this, so let's keep it, just do translate, because that's the easy one to do anyway. Okay, fine, so then we'll go to transform shape, somewhere under draw, we'll do transform shape, and then this will be, I think this is just now. Is my transform primitive now also a little bit shite? Oh no, wait a minute, it's fine, because it's they're all public. Okay, so that should keep entity reasonably happy. Yes, now. Let's do const transform shape that. Or how convinced are we that it's just cheap to copy? I guess transform is a little bit heavy, so that's fine. Okay, so then we'll go to entity. We'll change this to transform shape reference. Okay, so that should keep the interface happy. Now it's just everyone who's consuming it. Oh, there's an option. There's an opportunity for bang auto. Maybe I should have like bang bot commands. Or is it bang return? It might be bang return. I can't remember. Yes, sorry, this question comes up a lot. So there is a auto-generated response somewhere. Is it bang return? Did I not set this up? Let me have a quick look. Bang ret, obviously I picked the x86 mnemonic rather than the C++ keyword, obviously. I feel like the moment's gone now, but it should be there anyway. Got it. John, we've just been faffing around sorting out some of the collision detection or intersection testing, and now we're just doing a bit of a refactor, so I don't know whether you consider that or not, but that's what we've done. Okay, I've got all this horror now. Let's go fix all this. Okay, 102. Let's better start off with the miserable one, which is this. I don't need to draw that anymore because it will be taken care of by the level. That's one thing gone. Now this is going to be they're all pain. Also a few more includes between friends. So this is going to be game transform shape. Bounding box. I'm undecided whether I should just transform this into our... Ideally, I'd like to remove our internal AABB representation because it's a little bit superfluous. But what we could probably do is reuse the logic we've got here, right? So const auto shape equals bounding box dot issue. We're going to guarantee this is a box. It could be any shape. Yeah, it could be a run by cosine dodecahedron, right? It's impossible to say. We have to roll our own RTTI. Right. Not already done this. Yeah, okay, fine. Let's do it. Thanks. Autocomplete, that's exactly what I wanted. So what have we got in our shapes? We've got a sphere, which I think is still not being compiled because I need to go and bring those back at some point. We've got a cylinder, we've got a box, a cylinder, and a sphere. Okay. This will take a private type. This will take a shape type. Shape type. type, and then we'll have a auto type const shape type, and then this will be live in here, and then ft shape return type. That's that. I have no thoughts on Rust because I've not actually sit down to play with it yet and use it. So it's very hard for me to have any form of opinion without with like zero experience in it. I hear good things, I hear bad things, I hear different things, but then you hear that about all programming languages, so it's hard to say. I think a stream where I like try and figure out some Rust and do something might be fun, but not now, not today. Okay, so let's go box shape. And then physics shape. So in here we should be able to do box. Okay. We could use PHP, that might be fun. I'd be interested to see how PHP has changed since version 4, which is what I was using. I don't need a set type because no one should be changing the type of the shape after it's been constructed. It's purely an immutable. It is an immutable feature of the shape class. Like you construct one of these, and then it's always a box, right? It's always a box. There's no, it's not changing. Okay, so now let's do game, and then we'll do narrow contract, game expect bounding box dot type to be equal to game shape type shader type shape type box, and like this is not a box. That's the kind of helpful error message you want to see when it all goes wrong on prod and it's late at night and you got to get it fixed. Remember type and transform shape. Yes, you are correct. It will not be in that. It will now. Okay, fine. Now let's go back to transform shape and do auto shape. Auto shape const shape star. Okay. To transform shape. Blah, blah, blah. Stick this in here. Where was I? Game. Okay, so now shape. Shape arrow type. This is not a box. Then I think what I might do is just do const auto min equals. How do we undo this? So AABB path extends to min max. I just want. I suppose I probably just need to reverse the mathematical operations I did in the other one. Here we go. I just add. Can't undo it? But I only need it in. No, because the min max must be from. Must be able to derive it from the half extents, right? And I know the position of it. So what can't I do something like const auto position equals bounding box dot back to the bounding box. Nope, sorry. Back to the transform shape. Auto transform const transform that. All right, and then study transformed shape transform. Okay. I'm saying okay a lot, like I know what I'm doing. Right, so transform dot position. Did I forget to make that const? I did. It's not gonna work for anyone. Okay. So isn't this min just the position minus the bounding box? What do I get back from this? Oh, why did I quit dimensions? Surely it should be half extents. Okay, right. This is all fixable with a quick cast. Physics box shape const auto box shape equals static cast const game box shape pointer bounding box shape, and then this is minus box shape dot dimensions. Max is plus the dimensions, and then we just do AABB df dot. Right? I agree. I think C is a great language for learning, like getting introduced to like systems programming and manual memory management and pointers and stuff like that, without all of like whatever all this is that C++ brings to the table, which I think is useful, but can get in the way of learning some of those sort of more fundamentals. Okay, so now that works. On to the next issue. There's with modern C++, there are fewer and fewer reasons to need to use void pointer. I'm not saying you don't ever need it. I'm saying there's fewer and fewer reasons to use it. Not that many errors. Right, let's do lower level. What was that? Like 40. Is it going to bite me if I make it possible to have this as a null pointer? Like, for the floor, I don't currently care. So I think... Actually, no, what am I doing? No, that's not going to work, is it? I feel like this is gonna... It's gonna bite me later. Oh no, it's not going to work, is it? Because this is not... Oh, shit, no, it's going to have to do it. Yeah, I mean... It's kind of hard. I don't really agree with defining like arbitrary language subsets. It doesn't mean you have to use every single toy in the toy box, but sorry, I'm going to think about what I'm going to do. It does make it very hard and somewhat incompatible to work with other libraries and other, onboarding, if everyone's got their own kind of unique flavor of the language. Okay, so what am I going to do? I'm going to have to construct a bounding box around this bloody level floor on. I guess I should do it anyway. I'm kind of being a bit lazy not. This is not caching it twice. This is just receiving it, getting it from the cache twice. I can't remember why. I needed another texture here for like the normal map or something. I didn't have another one. It's really just a... Right? Is that what that is? Yeah. Could make it optional. How much is it? How much work is it to do? Oh, because I don't have the physics engine by this point, do I? I'd have to shift it down in the initializer list, use that, get the let's just suck it up. Right, let's make this first, because you can't use these before they've been initialized, so let's put that there. Okay, so the physics system is now initialized first. So then this needs to have as the last argument a transform shape, which will have a ps dot create shape box shape. Which will have vector 3. This is a little bit messy about this, so just do apologize. So this will be like 50.0f, 0. Half the size that we've specified the renderer to render it at. That'll be the box shape, and then it will then need a transform, which I think we can just leave it at the origin, because that's, oh no, it's slightly down, isn't it? So it's 0.0f minus 3.0f, 0.0f, 1.0f scale. Oh, hang on, I've not balanced something correctly there. Hang on. Stick another code. It's going to keep adding curly braces to this so it doesn't explode when I save it. Ooh. That closes that. Oh, then am I just missing the final floor one? Yeah, okay. No, that's correct, because this is the first element here, which is the shape pointer. Sorry, I think we got there. Okay. So now I need to, when I'm doing this, I need to create the shape first here. Okay. Which will be... where do we get the half extents? That was from the previous bounding box. So now we just need to... I don't know how big this is. We just assumed it's a fixed size. Well, no, when you construct the entity, how did it calculate bounding box from the mesh? Oh, what a ruddy pain that is. Might hard code it. No, I don't think the Lua does. I don't think the Lua does know it. It just has the concept of position, visibility, and color. We were calculating it by running through all the mesh data. I remember doing this. What I'm going to do is cheat and go something like 1.0f. Make it 1 in all directions, and then we'll just tweak it. So that'll make it that, and then this can now be shape and the position. So that will be stood get naught of info 1.0f. How many more of these are you expecting? Oh, because it's in place back, it can't tell that this is a transformed shape. You sure? Are you sure? Like, extra around the get. Yes, I think you're right. There we go. Okay, let me get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. And then we don't need that, so we can just stick those back in there. That's cool, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. What happens? Everyone's still here? See if this works. Okay. That still works. The collision seems to still work, and the most important is the frustrum culling still works. If I stick that, and the most important question is the frustrum culling still working? So let's put that on there, on that cross section there. Oh, looking good. Okay, nice. I think we nailed it. Super quick refactor, in and out, 40 minutes. I could probably make those. I probably should have printed out the exact dimensions of the. In fact, I might still be able to do that. Let's do std println size of calculate bounding box mesh. Don't think we need it. Oh, and I need to include my formatter, don't I? Oh, does that return a... I not have a formatter for AABB. Outrageous. I just need to know half the... No, I mean, I just want to know the size, right? Does the size the max minus the min? One of the dimensions of the box are specified by a max and a min. My brain has gone completely dead. How do I do that? Assuming it's world space, which I think this is. Yeah, because I don't use the transfer. Sorry, model space. Let's do max minus. Max. That? Fine. Just keep on adding braces. Always be adding braces. A B. Ah, nailed it. I suppose if they're... No, I just want the max, don't I? And then double it. Or nothing. How can you possibly have a... Whatever, I don't care. I literally don't care. I'll just do it manually. So do I want them? Let's just try the mint before I get totally angry and delete it all. No, I give up. I'm gonna do it manually. Life is too short. I'm gonna already forgot where I did all this. Let's do. I think it needs to be something like 2.0f, 3.0f, 2.0f, something like that. And then we'll just do a quick bit tidy up, commenting, and then I can grab a beer. Close enough. Tweak that next time. Okay, so let's do that, and then I want to get RM. Oh no, I'll do that at the end. So, what have we done? So we've added some more. Extend shape API. Extend transformed shape API. That should probably go as part of that last commit. Store bounding box as transformed shape, and then integrate changes, and then git rm math. It's just source maths AABB. Just check what that still builds. There's probably some header includes for that we need to go and strip. Just a few. Oh, hold on. Is it maths/AA? Maybe maths/A. Maths/A. Maths. Oh, why do I keep doing that slash there? Maths/A. Okay. Why shape wire. What was that? Wireframe renderer. Yes, I guess we don't need that anymore because we can do it with the physics system. No, 28 is the correct temperature is 18 and overcast. That is the correct weather. Okay, nailed it. Remove AABB. Or what stream 52? Right. Good progress today. I think. I didn't think we were going to get all that done today, which is nice. So we fixed the collision detection and resolution. We've refactored out how we do bounding boxes. We've kept the frustum culling and the visibility tests. So yeah, I think next stream we can look at adding some more interesting levels. I'm thinking of doing... Oh no, we need to add the layers so we can actually finish the level. Then I'm thinking of doing some like, maybe... I like the idea that maybe like some of the boxes move unless you're looking at them and vice versa. So then there's a sort of a timing component to it as well. And I think overall the levels might have to have some sort of time element maybe as well, but we'll see how we get on with that. Anyway, I'm going to have a beer, and this office is warm. It is warm in this Rhino. And then, yeah, I'll hang around on Discord for a bit. See you guys there. Thank you very much for coming along. We will do the same Sunday, but more and better and extended ranges. I will see you all anon.